There is a quiet frustration many people carry but rarely admit. It is the feeling that life is being lived slightly off-center, as if one is capable of more depth, more clarity, more power, but cannot quite reach it. Days pass in motion yet feel static. Talent feels underused. Ambition feels scattered. Attention fractures. And somewhere beneath the noise of modern life, a simple but dangerous question hums. Is this all I will ever become? Robert Greene's Mastery exists to confront that question, not with comfort, but with direction. It does not flatter the reader. It does not offer shortcuts. Instead, it delivers something rarer and more demanding, a long-view understanding of how human greatness actually forms. Greene dismantles the myth of sudden genius and replaces it with a pattern older than civilizations, the transformation of raw inclination into disciplined skill, skill into intuition, and intuition into quiet authority. The book's central promise is unsettling yet empowering. Mastery is not reserved for the gifted few. It is a process governed by laws. These laws do not bend for passion alone. They reward patience, humility, and endurance, and they punish those who chase surface success without inner grounding. To understand mastery is to understand yourself, not as you wish to be, but as you are becoming. As Aristotle wrote, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Greene's work is a modern continuation of this ancient truth, translated for a world drowning in distraction. If you love powerful, insightful, and life-changing books, then you've found the right channel. Every week, we break down the ideas that transform mindsets, elevate success, and shift lives. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you'll want to catch every book we review. Let's continue. The journey begins not with ambition, but with inclination. Every master's story begins earlier than people think, not at the moment of recognition, not at success, but at a subtle pull in childhood or early life, a fascination that feels irrational, even impractical. Greene calls this the life's task, the unique pattern of curiosity, temperament, and sensitivity that quietly draws a person towards certain problems and away from others. Mozart did not choose music because it was prestigious. He was unable not to hear it. Marie Curie did not pursue science for status. She was compelled by invisible forces most people ignored. In modern times, this pattern repeats. Elon Musk's early obsession with physics and systems thinking, long before Tesla or SpaceX, shaped his ability to approach industries others saw as fixed. Serena Williams' relentless attraction to the mechanics of tennis, angles, rhythm, endurance, preceded her dominance by decades. What Greene makes clear is that the life's task is not a hobby. It is not whatever excites you momentarily. It is what absorbs you when no one is watching, what sustains interest through boredom, difficulty, and obscurity. In a world obsessed with passion as enthusiasm, Greene reframes passion as endurance of attention. Friedrich Nietzsche captured this precisely. The essential thing in heaven and earth is that there should be long obedience in the same direction. This is where many fail. They mistake novelty for destiny. They chase what is socially rewarded rather than internally resonant. And because mastery requires years of deep focus, a misaligned path guarantees burnout. To move forward, one must first recover honesty about temperament, strengths, weaknesses, and natural inclinations. This honesty is uncomfortable because it strips away fantasy. But without it, every later effort becomes wasted motion. Desire without discipline creates illusion, not power. Once the life's task begins to clarify, a new danger appears: impatience. Modern culture teaches that clarity should produce immediate results.
Greene dismantles this illusion by emphasizing apprenticeship as the unavoidable next phase. Apprenticeship is the period where ego must shrink for ability to grow. It is not glamorous. It involves imitation, repetition, submission, and delayed gratification. This is the stage where most quit, not because they lack talent, but because they cannot tolerate humility. Benjamin Franklin spent years mastering the craft of printing before becoming a statesman. Leonardo da Vinci apprenticed under Verrocchio, learning to mix paints, prepare canvases, and study anatomy long before painting masterpieces. In modern American history, Kobe Bryant's early NBA years were defined not by dominance, but by obsession with fundamentals, footwork, film study, repetition. His later greatness was built on hours no one acclobbed. Greene stresses that the function of apprenticeship is not obedience, it is absorption. One learns how a system truly works, beyond theory. This stage rewires perception. Patterns become visible, mistakes become instructive rather than humiliating. The philosopher Epictetus warned, "If you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be a master, accept correction." Apprenticeship demands emotional control. Reactivity must be replaced by observation. Complaining must be replaced by endurance. Those who rush to express opinions before understanding reality sabotage their own growth. In corporate America, this lesson remains painfully relevant. Many young professionals demand leadership before competence. They seek visibility before credibility. Greene would argue this is backwards. Power that precedes understanding collapses. The mind must be reshaped before mastery can emerge. As apprenticeship deepens, the mind begins to change. Greene introduces the idea that mastery is not merely skill accumulation, but cognitive transformation. The brain rewires itself through prolonged exposure to complexity.
This explains why true experts see things others miss. A seasoned chess grandmaster does not analyze individual pieces, they perceive configurations. An experienced surgeon does not consciously recall every step, their hands move with learned intelligence. Modern neuroscience supports Greene's argument. Studies on neuroplasticity show that sustained practice physically alters brain structure. London taxi drivers develop enlarged hippocampi due to spatial navigation demands. Musicians show increased connectivity between hemispheres. In global terms, consider Japanese craftsmen, the shokunin, who spend decades perfecting a single process. Their mastery is not speed, but precision born of deep familiarity. In Silicon Valley, engineers who quietly master system architecture outperform flashy innovators over time. This phase teaches a critical truth. Thinking improves through doing, not through endless consumption of information. Greene warns against passive learning, reading without application, planning without execution. Knowledge untested by reality remains fragile. As Confucius observed, "I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand." The mind becomes sharper not by avoiding difficulty, but by metabolizing it. Emotional resilience becomes the real separator. As skill increases, so do pressures, competition, criticism, envy, and self-doubt. Greene emphasizes that many capable individuals fail not from lack of intelligence, but from emotional fragility. Masters learn to regulate emotion without suppressing it. They detach ego from outcomes. Failure becomes data, praise becomes noise. This is visible in figures like Michael Jordan, whose early career included repeated playoff losses. Rather than internalize defeat as identity, he used it as calibration. Similarly, Oprah Winfrey's early professional setbacks did not define her, they refined her voice. Globally, figures like Nelson Mandela demonstrate mastery beyond technical skill, mastery of inner states. Decades of imprisonment did not break his clarity of purpose. Emotional discipline transformed suffering into strategic patience. Greene's insight here is subtle but profound. Emotional mastery is not calmness, it is flexibility, the ability to absorb shocks without losing direction.
The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Without emotional resilience, skill plateaus. With it, adversity accelerates growth. Social intelligence turns skill into influence. As mastery advances, isolation becomes dangerous. Greene introduces the necessity of social intelligence, the ability to read people, navigate power dynamics, and collaborate without losing integrity. Many brilliant individuals fail here. They assume competence alone guarantees success. History disproves this repeatedly. Nikola Tesla's lack of political acumen limited his impact, while Thomas Edison's understanding of alliances amplified his. In modern organizations, technical experts who ignore relationships stagnate. Meanwhile, those who combine competence with empathy rise. Greene does not advocate manipulation, but awareness, understanding incentives, recognizing fear, pride, and status games. Masters observe without contempt. As Sun Tzu advised, know the enemy and know yourself, and you will not be imperiled in 100 battles. Social intelligence allows mastery to scale beyond the individual. Intuition emerges when effort disappears. At the highest stage, mastery becomes invisible. Action flows without strain. Decisions feel immediate yet accurate. This is intuitive power, earned through years of structured effort. A master musician improvises because discipline created freedom. A seasoned investor senses market shifts before data confirms them. A veteran leader navigates crises with calm clarity. This intuition is not mystical, it is compressed experience. Greene emphasizes that intuition must remain grounded. Without humility, it turns reckless. Masters continue learning because they understand how much remains unknown. Bruce Lee embodied this principle. Rigid systems dissolve into fluid expression. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. At this stage, mastery becomes contribution. The master no longer seeks validation, they shape reality. Mastery ultimately becomes service. The final transformation is ethical. True mastery extends beyond self. It reshapes systems, uplifts others, and leaves structures stronger. Greene points to figures like Charles Darwin, whose work redefined understanding of life, and Martha Graham, who revolutionized dance by revealing human emotion through movement. In recent times, figures like Tim Cook exemplify quiet mastery, stability, continuity, stewardship rather than spectacle. Mastery matures into responsibility. Viktor Frankl captured this shift. What is to give light must endure burning. The master accepts this cost willingly. Mastery is not a book about success. It is a book about alignment between inclination and effort, discipline and freedom, skill and purpose. It rejects the culture of shortcuts. It honors time. It respects reality. To pursue mastery is to choose depth over speed, meaning over applause, and growth over comfort. It is to accept that greatness is quiet before it is loud, and often quiet even after. The path is demanding, but it is real. And in a world filled with noise, that may be its greatest gift. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join us for more wisdom that fuels growth.